Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am your girl, Molinda Jae, and I'm here to talk about and review the Queens of R&B episode 2 breakdown. All the back and forth that has happened last year in regards to the Scott sisters has literally came full circle and had the floodgates just open even wider to due to the fact that the show is on. That brings a little bit more context to a certain degree. However, we do not need to lose sight on the magnificence that is powerhouse groups together. There we go. And making one big collaborative effort in providing us this good, balanced, somewhat chaotic content, okay, that we all love to see. Now, before I get into review the topics that I will be talking about, or some things that stood out to me the most from watching the episode twice and watching Kandi'S speak on it, the full version, and then looks like she had condensed it to looked like she condensed the longer version of the speak on it to a condensed version that's like 23 minutes, but I didn't watch that because it just seems like it was a condensed version of her setting the record straight between her and Tasha in regards to who did what during that specific time and why Tasha feels the way that she feels now. And then also I watched Tamika Scott's review of her thoughts of the episode. And there has been a clip or a segment that Tasha was on a radio show that I took upon myself to watch that as well to get her side of the story during the season of the Queens of R&B. Clearly, the issue is clearly deeper than. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into this review. Like I said, all the information that is provided on this video is allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. And I'm solely using the Scott sisters because not only their segment was the bigger portion of this episode, and it has spilled out into the YouTube streets, the internet streets, everybody and the grandma is talking about it. I will be simply using them as a case study because let's not act like everybody has had a fight or two with their brothers and sisters or their family members over the internet, okay? So we all had a little slip up every now and then, but of course we can all learn something from this. All right. So what we all can learn from the Scott sisters. So it picks back up the episode. It picks back up from what we left off, which was the come to Jesus meeting at Mama Gloria, aka the Scott sisters' mom's house. Okay, and Tamika has walked out of the house along with her daughter Oshun. And the purpose of Oshun being there, according to Kandi, explaining on her speak on it, and I believe Tamika said the same thing on her review. But the purpose of Oshun's presence being there is to bring a sense of this is a family matter. There's no hidden agendas, and Oshun is I'm pretty sure Oshun is like the beacon of light of all the chaoticness that is going on between the Scott sisters and their mom. So it's almost like even though we are here and we duking it out here, we still have this beacon of light over here on the side that could regather us together, bring us back together in regards to this. We are still family and we're still going to stick it out thick and thin, as well as hold each other accountable in a loving way as well. So in regards to Tamika leaving out with Oshun, her mother was was trying to talk to her, and she was okay, like I said, this is for entertainment and research purposes only, and I am only reviewing this out of the um I wouldn't say constructive criticism, but just like a loving, in a loving manner. All right, because I do want all of us to learn something from this, okay? To actually ponder our thoughts on what we need to do in regards to maintaining our relationships, not only with ourselves, but also with our family members as well. Because we're not able to, we don't pick our families, okay? We can pick our friends, but we can choose how we can move forward with our relationships with our parents and other family members as well. Okay. So Tamika is saying that she is fed up, she is tired, and that she really can't take this no more. Like far as her mother continued to take Tasha's side and just leaving her high and dry to a certain degree, not fully actively hearing what she's saying, because the mother is like, well, if you needed to talk to me, all you had to do was tell me. You know, if you wanted to, if something was bothering you, all you had to do was reach out to me. But Tamika was like, I have been reaching out to you, and you steady are not listening to me. You're still taking her side, and you're not seeing things from my point of view. And keep in mind, folks, whenever we are going off on our parents, um, especially when we, biblically speaking, you obey your mother and your father, right? However, we can respectively critique them on the wrongdoings that they have been that triggers our emotions to where we flip off on them to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, it's not like I'm gonna flip off on you and never speak to you again. It's more like I'm flipping off because I'm really trying to hold it together, but I feel like I'm not being heard. And the only way you can listen to me is if I flip off, okay? Because it seems like whenever I'm speaking to you in a loving, endured or inside manner, you're brushing it off as if I am not in the room presently, exactly, and you're not actively listening. You know how a majority of us black folks, we don't majority of black folks, they're not able to, you know how somebody would um try to get on you or would try to critique in a loving manner without raising their voice, but you're not hearing what they're saying because it just brushed off your shoulder. So the only time that a person is taken seriously is if they're yelling and screaming at the top of their head, right? And now it gets your attention because why? You thinking they're yelling at you when really you haven't been paying attention for most of the time. Okay. So that's what's happening in that scenario. All right. So, and on the same time, while Tamika is fed up, you got Mama G over here. She is tired. She is pulling a Black China on her show, cut the cameras, dead ass type of vibe. All right. Because what we have found out furthermore, along the episode and outside of the episode as well, is that particular information that Tamika had released, which was her saying with her saying to Tasha and her mom, you and Rocky stole my mama my money, and mom was and mama had covered it up for you all. Okay, that particular scenario, that particular subject there was supposed to remain in-house. And the fact that Tamika had released that into the internet, the TV universe, it was like, okay, we inserted in the group chat now. We know what's going on. We know exactly why she is frustrated, as to why she has this combative feeling, and how she could have utilized that money at that time while they were not together in the group. Okay. So yeah, like I said, Mama G, she's cutting up. She is basically saying, cut the cameras, get off of my property, and all that type of jazz. Okay, put a pin on that. Now, the reason why Tamika pulled up, just blurted out that situation out into the ethernets, right? With Tasha and her husband allegedly stealing money from her, and her mom allegedly covering up from them, is Kandi. She had gave context of as to why this scenario is probably true on her speak on it. And she stated that in the early 2000s, Tamika was pregnant and Oshun was in college, and they could have used that money at the time because the group had broke up there, and that means no shows, no albums, no tours, etc. There's no income generating for any of the gals in regards to Xscape wise because of the breakup. That there was a unionized company called called Sound Exchange, where they help artists get royalties from airplay, because only songwriters will get paid. But if you have music that was back in the day, you were able to sign up and get qualified to get royalty checks. And this company didn't get established until the early 2000s, and that was when Xscape had already like dismembered the group. Okay, so this information came from Tiny's mom, Mama Diane, and Mama Diane knew about it, and she was like, okay, she could possibly Mama Diane, aka Tiny's mom, she knew about this particular program, and she thought about, hey, let's sign y'all up to see if y'all can earn some performance royalty checks. And the only way I would know, or the only way I could think about Miss Diane knowing about that information, is because her husband being used to be a magician back in the day, and of course Tiny, she is in the music industry as well, so touche on that. But yes, Mom Diane, she signed up Xscape, and each members, if you're qualified, you will get a royalty check. Now she ended up signing everybody up, and they each get an individual check. There's no group check. Each individual gets their check. Okay. And Kandi also mentioned at the time that her check had went to Mama Joy's house. Okay. So with this scenario here, fast forward after everybody has been signed up to get the checks and stuff like that, that's when Tiny's mom had checked up with everyone and see if everybody got their check. So she checked with Tiny, she got her check. She checked with Kandi, she got her check. She checked with Tasha, she got her check. And then when it came to Tamika was like, what are you talking about? What check? What are y'all talking about? So Diane was like, no problem. Let me check up on your check, or let me check up on your status, the update on it. And when she got the update of what had transpired, or what had happened to her check, it was stated that allegedly she that the check was already deposited. Allegedly, and keep in mind, this is the same time when Tamika was pregnant with the second child, and Oshun was in college at the time, and she said she could have used that money at that time to pay for college for Oshun. And allegedly, Kandi said, and I'm gonna say allegedly too, because hey, I was not there at the time. I was a youngin, all right. But allegedly, according to Kandi, and allegedly, as I'm relaying this information to y'all, was that when she found that the check was already deposited, the only way to track it was to file charges. And Tamika refused because that would have been a forgery of signature as well as identity theft. Um, as well, it probably could have been a couple other things too. But we're gonna keep that tight and sealed right there. And then according to Kandi, she yeah, according to Kandi, allegedly, someone had got Tamika's check and forged the forward the signature on there and deposit that thing. That was alleged. Like I said, she wasn't there. I wasn't there, but Miss Diane, she was able to allegedly back up the information. But then that's when Kandi had said that was the reason why she was reluctant on the first season of just kicking it with Xscape, that she was reluctant to get back with the group because she already had got wind at that time of she was not trusting anybody with handling money type of things. Okay, allegedly. All right, but that's what she said on her speak on it. But I'm gonna say allegedly on my end. Okay, to cover my butt. All right, but that's what was said on Kandi Speak on It when it comes to giving the full context of Tamika saying, "Hey, y'all stole my money and Mama hit it." Okay, because she's y'all favorite. All right, yeah, but now moving on to SWV's segment of the episode. Like I said, it's like a very vast contrast of this season. Well, you got Xscape, that's just like chaotic, up in the air, in distress, like, and then you got SWV that's like tranquil. We doing some family time. We getting our nails did and stuff like that. Cause you got the segment with Coco and her son Jalen vlogging about going to get their nails done. And I was like, I know that's right. And then we got Ty doing her little get ready with her short clip vlog. And then it switches over to Lily feeding her grand puppy at her residence. And then it goes to the next scene of the meetup with Kandi at the group Xscape was supposed to meet up with Kandi at the Candy Factory. My gosh, I cannot talk right now. Maybe because it's early in the morning. Okay, but the only ones who made it there was Tiny, Tamika, and Kandi. Tasha was supposed to be there, but due to what had transpired, possibly the night before, or the incident that happened at the mother's house, Mama G, the Scott's mama's house, that just caused Tasha not to go and meet up with the group. So as you can see, when they are at the Candy Factory, Kandi is of course eating. She's doing her per usual, and they are also reflecting on the Come to Jesus meeting that happened at Mama G's house. Tamika, she eventually plays a voice memo of her mama saying on the phone, of her mama saying, "You are wrong and don't want to listen to your mama. Don't want to hear what you don't want to hear that you hurt Tasha's feelings deeply." And when she said that, I was like, well, what about Tamika's feelings? Her feelings were hurt too. But let me move on. Also in the voicemail, she says Tamika did not have enough God in her to listen to righteousness. And I was like, what if the righteousness for Tamika was to speak her truth? And hey, as they say, you can't handle the truth, okay? Sometimes, sometimes when you want the truth and you can't handle the truth, but the truth shall set you free, right? All right. All right. And then furthermore, in the voicemail, she Mama G also said, if I hear you talk about if I hear about you jumping on Tasha, ain't nothing in this world is gonna keep me from whooping your tail. And when she said that sentence, that remind me of Evelyn Braxton, girl. When she, that remind me so vividly of uh Miss Evelyn Braxton. And when it came to Tamar and Tracy Braxton, all up in each other's faces and stuff, having that sibling squabble and stuff like that. Rest, continue to rest her soul. Let Tracy continue to rest her soul in the heavenly ethers. Okay, but it just reminded me when Mama Gloria had said that to Tamika, it just reminded me so much of Evelyn Braxton when she said in that voicemail, when she sent that to Tamika. I was like, oh my gosh. But all in a nutshell, to after the voice message, of course, Tamika had got emotional because it does hurt that even though you have done all you can and you stood beside your sister through thick and thin, and whether she was wrong or right, and you still not getting that same I'm gonna say that same energy as well, it hurts. So I mean, I can get it, but that's part of breaking the pattern when you are no longer accepting or no longer doing what was told, stepping out on the norms of it all, of we're going to stick. I mean, of course you can stick beside each other through thick and thin, but of course when there's no accountability at hand, that plays into the factor of continuing to sweeping things under the rug and creating the monster of it all as well. As well as, yo, all I have to say, that voicemail was like, it was eerie. Okay, it was very eerie to me, because it was just like, well, what about Tamika's feelings? We know Tasha's feelings are hurt, but what about Tamika's feelings? And I'm pretty sure she has enough God in her to know the righteousness, but it's the way she scolded at her. I mean, I get there was probably like a little bit of disrespect on there, but I mean, oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna have to do a whole freaking video on this subject matter, because there are times where I respectfully, okay, told my parents like, hey, times are changing, and the patterns that was taught to y'all is not happening anymore, and we gonna have to do what is right for not only for ourselves but for the next generation that comes behind us. Okay, so they won't be scorned all the dang time and having to live and figure out whether they did the right thing or not. Okay, so yeah, yo I that was definitely a tower moment right there. Um, Next, switching gears to decompress with Lily. Okay, Lily, we are switching over to Lily's segment in the episode where her sister Jeanette is basically the matriarch, and she is visiting Lily during her spare time. And all I have to say is Lily is like living comfortably and just living in the moment. I starting to love Lily as we get to know her a little bit more on the series. Okay, and she had mentioned that everyone that can cook had cook a good meal has already passed away, like her mother, her father, etc. However, the only person that can still cook a good meal right now is the matriarch of the family, which is her sister Jeanette. She also said she moved back to Atlanta so she could be closer to her mother, who had passed away when she was the age of 22. And she gave a little background that she had four sisters. Well, she has four sisters, and she always knew that she wanted to sing, and she was going to do what is necessary to to get the item that she wanted to mold the most, which is a bed. I was like, yo, and we got people windmilling out here and fighting each other over petty stuff. And here you got Lily over here is just like, I just want a simple bed to live, to lay comfortably and not having to worry about to share a bed with anybody again. So I thought that was very, um, I thought that was very, I wouldn't, I'm gonna say humbling of her, but it just gives you the another perspective of Lily, okay, and her how shall I say, in her thought process, and also how she operates in this. Lily gives me the I live in the moment type of gal, type of deal, okay, but yeah, with the money that she bought, that she got, the first thing she got was a king size bed, and I was like, I know that's right. Ain't nothing like having your own bed. Now, yeah, it's just a simple reminder that the simple things that we take for granted, someone is able to appreciate it to its fullest advantage. Okay. And then we segue over to Tamika and Taj meeting up at the park, having a good old conversation, a little pick me up, candid convo, and they speak about her mother choosing sides, meaning Mama Gloria's choosing sides between Tasha and Tamika. To go into further context, again, Tamika feels like the mother is taking Tasha's side again instead of just being neutral when it comes to cases like this. And then following up, another scene, they Xscape is meeting up at Tiny's house. And what was discussed there is management. That was the topic of discussion, was finding new management that everybody could agree on and basically not have any associated, no connection with the next person that is going to be head of management of Xscape. And I totally agree with Kandi. Choose someone that is not associated with anybody in the group, that is going to help y'all get the coin, get the bag, and also be able to, be neutral in everything and everything. The main goal is to make money and be on one accord. Leave your personal to the side, set it to the side, focus on the business, and move forward. Because that's exactly what has happened with SWV. SWV has came a long way since their reality show with their own group, because that was one of the things they had trouble with, was being on one accord and get into the bag. And now that they have the full understanding and it has came full circle that they are better together in getting that bag together, they are thriving. And I need Xscape to get on one accord so y'all can get to this bag too. Okay, come on, let's get the personal, leave the personal to the side. Okay, especially when it's dealing with two sisters. Girl, y'all, instead of just going to the mama, y'all go to a therapist. Okay, go to a therapist that has no association with you all. I believe that is probably about the best bet, is to go to a therapist that is not associated with any one of y'all, right? so y'all can just get a better understanding, right? Understanding is what you need of each other, because who you gonna run to share this empty space with laughter, okay? You get me? You get my drift? All right, moving further along because this video is super long and I may have to divide this mother trucker up. All right. But yeah, the topic that was being discussed at Tiny's house was basically to have new management. All right, but it didn't last long because Tasha didn't want to talk. She didn't want to answer no questions. She was walking around the questions. She said she was gonna pray about it. When it comes to whatever was being discussed, but at the same time, in the back of her pocket, she has this solo deal, okay, that she is trying to push out, okay. And then so that leads to the producer asking Tasha in the confessional, what would it take for you and Tamika to put this issue to bed? And that's when Rocky came over and gave the little Ike Turner whisper, okay. He gave the, hey little mama, let me whisper in your ear, tell me some you might like to hear, okay. He was giving her the whisper talk, and I'm like, and then that's when the producer was like, Rocky, what you saying to her? And then Rocky was like, something that she needs to say, okay, something that she needs to respond to. Stay on course, stay on topic, don't revert, okay. And Kandi had confirmed it in her confessional, like, if he is not around, then she's not going to answer. All right, so plain and simple. So